Hey guys, what's going on? It is iJustRengar here, and today I'm coming at you with a video for 10 of the most played champions, trying out the level 4 in 3 minutes clear. For some of these champions, the clear went pretty well, and for others, well, you'll see. So let's just start this clear video off from worst to best. We're going to be going in order of time, not hit points, but at the end of each explanation of health for time ratio, I'll explain if it's worth it to try it or not, or if it's just useless and you'd be better off with a different strategy. Just a disclaimer before I begin, I'm by no means an expert with any of these champions, so my clears could be lacking. To make sure that I was doing them correctly, I did each clear multiple times and used both Talisman and Machete for ones where that was applicable. These are the best resulting clears. Also keep in mind, aside from the number 1 and number 2 champion on this list, every single one of the champions I played for this are in the top 10 most played champions for jungle. There are probably more junglers that can do this, but I picked these as these champs because these would most likely affect you the most. Final disclaimer, I swear this one is the last. This was done with no leashing whatsoever. With a minor leash, a couple of these champions could complete their clear a lot faster and a lot healthier. So let's get right into it. Our first champion on this list in the number 10 slot is going to be Shyvana. Shyvana is a champion typically praised for her high clear speed, which through my tests wasn't really the case, although this clear does get her level 4 faster than a full clear. It's probably going to be better off for you to just clear the normal way, however, as this clear is very taxing on her health, leaving her vulnerable to invades. Just a tip for Shyvana, try not to be the person that engages. Try to engage either after your team or when the enemy team engages, otherwise it's far too easy to just kite you because you won't have your ultimate to gap close. Counter ganks are going to be your best friend also, so where your ganks can kind of be a little bit lackluster unless you have red buff, and even then you don't really have any hard CC. The next champion we're going to be talking about is going to be Khazix. Khazix is a strong early game jungler, but he does struggle quite a bit with his clear, which is shown by the ending clear with only 320 health. Again, by no means am I a Cain main, however I did test this clear multiple times. Also, just for a side note, Talisman cleared in 3 minutes and 33 seconds with only 167 health remaining. Khaz's another champion that I probably would not recommend to do this clear. Instead, I'd opt for a blue to wolves to red into a gank clear. So basically you go blue, wolves, red, and then you gank. Some tips for Khazix. Keep in mind that you can use your W to proc your passive. In addition to this, your ultimate will also proc your passive, and your Duskblade, which can work really well in your favor if done well. So basically you get 3 to 4 Duskblade procs in a single fight if you use your ultimate perfectly, and that can be upwards of 1200 pre-mitigation damage at max level. In the number 8 slot, we're going to find Jarvan 4. J4 is a very strong early cheese ganker, but I wanted to test out and see how he'd perform trying this clear. Jarvan did very slightly better than Khazix health-wise, but he still had a bit of a difficulty clearing the camps, leading me to believe that you'll probably just want to go for an early cheese or a standard clear. A tip for early cheeses with the Jarvan: only do them if you're versus a Xin or a Khazix, as they can really screw you up at the earlier levels, 1v1 or 2v2. So if you want to be able to get an effective cheese off, it's definitely beneficial here, because otherwise you'll most likely lose if you get counter ganked when you're at level 3 and they're at level 3. You just have a weaker kit than them then. Lee Sin is at number 7. Is when you start to see this clear actually making a bit of sense. If you finish this clear at the same time that I did, with the same health, you should be able to get an effective gank off either top or mid or bot depending on the side of the map, especially if you take Scuttle Crab. 470 health and level 4 at 3 minutes 18 is actually really strong, as if you run into an enemy you'll have that extra skill point, which for an early game champion such as Lee Sin is crucial. Some quick tips for Lee Sin. Make sure you use your passive attack speed when you're clearing camps efficiently. Use an ability, 2 auto attacks, then use the ability again. Do this repetitively. Also, time the second part of your Q with your smite. It's an execute ability, so it'll combo really well for securing objectives or buffs. Evelynn is another champion that could benefit from this clear. Eve benefits greatly from level 6, so hitting level 4 at 317 with almost 500 health is a pretty good start to her game. From here, she can either just gank free lanes, or just keep on farming the rest of her jungle. Some key points and tips for Evelynn are just to remember your positioning at all times, especially later into the game, and don't suicide just to proc a charm. I've seen too many Eves die just trying to make sure that you get your charm off. Just wait until it comes back up. It makes the game a lot easier for your team and for yourself. Xin Zhao actually has one of the healthiest clears using this path, and he also definitely has some of the most uses for it. Xin Zhao's early ganks are disgusting, and if he has 2 levels up on bot lane and 1 level up on mid lane, it's even more so busted. Xin Zhao, reaching level 4 at 313 with over 500 health, can quickly regen with red buff and gank a lane, showing them a tip with a spear behind it. Speaking of tips, for Xin Zhao, like Shyvana, counter ganks can be very strong for you, because you turn them very, very easily, especially if the enemy has already used their movement abilities going in. If counter ganking isn't possible though, for ganks, try to walk up to them before you use your E if you're coming from behind. This is so that if they use a flash or a dash away, you can then use your E to follow them without having to flash after. Xin Zhao is pretty easy to play, so I'd encourage you all to try him out in some games and just see what you think. Up to our number 4 spot, we have Master Yi, who, without a doubt, has the healthiest clear out of all of these champions, not even counting being able to use his W after the clear is over. Master Yi finishes this clear after using W only once with a time of 3 minutes 11 seconds, and having just over 675 health. If you've at all been paying attention to the health so far, you'd know that this is absolutely ridiculous compared to the other champions. After clearing your red, you can either gank a lane with your 2 minutes of red uptime and generous amount of health, or you can just keep clearing golems and scuttles, aiming for that early level 6. Some quick Master Yi tips. You can actually get hit by CC, and then use your Q the instant you're hit to make it so the CC doesn't apply, even though it does hit. You can also use Q just before it hits you, but that's not what makes up the cool montage clips, so probably don't want to do that. Just kidding. Also, your W, Meditate, can be used as an auto attack reset, which can be very, very strong in close 1v1s. Finally, during ganks, it can be beneficial to use Master Yi's Q a lot like we talked about Xin Zhao earlier. Wait until they dash, and then use it to chase. We're finally down into the big 3, and opening up these 3 is going to be Cain. Cain has some really fast clear speed, although he doesn't end too healthily. This is because I used refillable potions in this example and also did not get a leash. With a leash and 3 potions, I would have easily had full HP, so keep that noted. Cain's clear is already really good, and being able to hit level 4 in just a tad over 3 minutes at 3:05 really benefits him, and can lend itself to some great strategies. Some quick Cain tips. If you're playing Assassin, just keep in mind that you can Q and W at the same time for some insane burst damage. I probably should have specified Shadow Assassin. And also, for Cain in general, don't just run into a wall because you used your E, like if you're chasing somebody down. The 1.5 seconds of bonus 40% move speed is definitely strong enough to catch most people. Trust me, I played Rengar all the time, and that's exactly what his ferocity gives for move speed. Narrowing the list down to the number 2 slot, we actually have the clearing god himself, Trick 2G's signature champion, Udyr. Udyr is definitely really strong with his clear just due to how fast he can hit level 4, and with an extremely healthy clear as well. He has the second healthiest clear on this list, with refillable and with no leash, and he just does it so fast. Just make sure you're using your abilities properly and you're golden. I'd recommend Udyr to take this clear just because it works so well for you, and you can abuse it fairly easily, as Udyr with red can have some really great ganks early game. Some tips for Udyr is that when you're ganking, don't just run directly at them. Run towards them, but also towards the direction that they're likely to run. If you run straight at them and then straight up, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. Also, try to enter the lane from as far back as you can if you're behind them. They can't run away as easily. So if you're going to be going into the lane, make sure that you go from as far back as you can, because when you are going behind them, they basically have to run into you. Something to look for as Udyr, once you get this, is definitely going to be counter jungles, by the way. You have a really healthy clear, and you're level 4 with double buffs, so it's extremely beneficial to try to 1v1 the most likely level 3 enemy jungler, and if not, just steal their camps away. The final champion on this list, with one of the least healthy clears, is going to be, drumroll please, that was me banging on my desk, Dr. Mundo. Dr. Mundo finishes this clear with only 200 HP, but he does it 4 seconds faster than Udyr with no leash, although this is extremely dangerous. This clear is not recommended for Mundo due to how low you get, but if you want to try it out and see what you can do yourself with this, feel free. I'd love to see some creative ideas on how to abuse this 3-minute level 4, even if it does involve starting TP and using Unsealed Spellbook. A couple quick tips for Mundo. Firstly, just wait a second on your Q. You don't have to instantly Q the second that it comes off cooldown. Aim it first, then toss it. It's better to have wasted 3 seconds aiming a total of 3 Qs than missing one and wasting 4 seconds of it being down. Also, you're a deceptively strong duelist and can take Dragon fairly easily early game, if you abuse your E's passive properly. Just be very careful of where the enemy jungler is. Counter jungle if you can, and remember, Mundo goes where he pleases. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, my name is iJustRengar. Please like the video and leave me a comment telling me what you enjoyed or what you didn't enjoy. If you didn't like this video, my name is Dekar173, and you can go to my channel and just comment on my most recent video telling me that I'm bad at the game. Just kidding, guys. But thank you all so much for watching, thank you for all your continued support, and have a wonderful day. Bye.